So, welcome back. If you have stuck with us so far, we are now halfway through this 10-week course. So this is now class 5. Okay. Now, last night's class was a little bit different. We didn't do much vocabulary. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, we only did about 7, and all of them were to do with transport. Because I do know that in some of the exams they talk about transportation. So, first of all, coach. I get on a coach. So the coach is like 2 C's, hands like this, and you're literally going to draw the coach. So it's, if you do it this way, coach. But you would actually sign it front ways on, coach. Okay? So the train, you make this sign, and it's like, it goes round, but on the side, so it's like a train. Now, a bus, you might see a few things for a bus, but the one that I learned was bus. Alright, so you're literally hanging on to a bus. You might see that one for train, actually, but it's usually train and a bus. Or you can spell it, bus. Car, most 3-year-olds can do it. To walk is to walk. To run is to run. A cycle or a pedal cycle or a motorbike. Okay, so that's all the vocab that I did last night, and it's all the vocab that therefore I'm going to put on today's video. This video is going to be very short. A couple of things that I talked about last night, and these are important. One of them is placements. Okay, so if you are maybe talking about a person and you place them, you must remember where that person is. And then if you're talking about a second person and you place them over here, the deaf will remember where you've put them. Alright, if you can imagine, the way I learned was, it's like a stage show. Okay, so you're on stage and all the actors playing a part or have a role in the conversation, and they are deliberately put in various places on the stage, and that's kind of what you have to remember. So if you do place somebody, the deaf will remember. They're very good at that. So you must remember where the placement of people or objects are. Okay. Went back a little bit over. You remember the 6 things we learned with the timeline at the beginning and the question at the end and everything in between. Really, I kind of simplified that last night. The 2 differences between, and these are things that you do have to remember. English, okay, is a spoken language. Sign language is very visual. Alright, that is the main differences. And there are 3 types of examinations that you might do in the future. And this is something that I'd seen quite a few times with the signature people who are the biggest company that do BSL teaching in the country. I kept seeing on Facebook, oh, I'm doing my BSL 101 or my 102 or my 103, and I kept thinking to myself, I don't know what they are. Well, I found out. The 3 parts are BSL 101 is the first 10 weeks. So if you don't want to do the whole 30-week course, you can do the 10-week course, which they call an introduction to BSL, which is what we are doing. So that's your first 10 weeks, which is kind of what we're doing here. Then BSL 102 is all about receptive. Okay, that's the sign for it. Receptive skills. Now, receptive skills is reading back. That's the difficult bit. Okay, so that's when you're having a conversation, and once it begins to flow, you can think, it's like any language, I've said this before, you can think of what you want to say and structure it, But when somebody's reading it, when somebody's signing back to you at full speed, you have to really be receptive. Okay. And then the BSL 103 is a conversation with a deaf person. Okay. And that's the 3 bits that make up the signature BSL level 1. So I said last night, with the vocabulary that you've already done, I think you could probably pass BSL 101. 102 is a bit difficult because you have to practice with somebody, and that will only improve your receptive skills. 103, for the next few weeks, we're going to practice these conversation skills. So you have no homework this week as such, and what I will do next week, I'm not quite sure how I'll put it on the video for those that want to practice, but I'll think about that for next week. Next week what I will do is I will come up with a number of phrases, and I'm going to give everybody in class maybe 3 sentences. I will then give you maybe 10 or 15 minutes to make sure that you know how to sign them properly, and then you can ask me if you've got any difficulties. And then I'm going to pair you up, and you are going to practice your signing skills, but also the other person then is going to practice their receptive skills. Okay. And I'll be able to, because each sentence will be different, we can then move you around the class. And that's all we're going to do next week and maybe the week after. And this is now going to be very much part of the following 5 weeks, the last 5 weeks of this course. Because, as I've said before, you can learn as much vocab as you like, but if you're not able to communicate and read back or receive, if your reception skills are not good, then the course has been a failure. So for the next 5 weeks, we're going to do more and more and more of this, pairing you up so that you can use your sign language skills to one another. Now, don't panic about this. All the sentences that I will construct for you next week will all be from the vocabulary that we've done in the past. Okay, that's it. Keep practicing, please. Well done, everyone.